So yeah, let's see. Plotter on double-sided tape. Backing is on the top side. And hopefully it will stay, because I put this tape on a month or two ago when I wanted to do this, but I never did. So now I am gonna try it. Same pattern as the edge test, so let's see. I made the machine go really slow in corners to not rip the foil, and let's see what it does. Maybe it doesn't cut it at all, maybe it's too thick, I don't know. Because there's a glue layer as well, so let's go slow and see if it works or rips the whole thing apart. You can see some flex for sure. So 1000 millimeters a minute, not fast. But I don't want to rip it, so nice, yeah. But it's doing something. I'll show you. I'm curious. If this works, it would say like etching all other things. And all texture. I'm pretty sure it will work for the bass part, so that might be a good thing. I mean, for the mid and treble, I'm still not sure if planar magnetic is the way to go anyways. Because I have so much luck with using the ESL. So it is a bit wonky because the cutter, when it moves sideways, there is some flex in this jig. I really should make a new holder for it. This is not it. It's like flexing all over the place. Yeah, so track width and such is kind of wonky, but for now that's no big deal. I mean, so it's almost at 5 minutes now. Drawing the whole thing took like 10 minutes with the pen. And of course you have to etch it, so if this is within 10 minutes, it's still like 200 or 300 times more, no, not times percent faster. I'll pause you for a sec. So, 8 minutes and 3 seconds at 1400 millimeters a minute. So that's still 2 minutes faster than using the plotter. And hopefully we are able to get this off. So maybe witness another failure, but that's how it goes. This is how I roll. Failures, baby. So what to do? First get the... No, I'm gonna first get the gross of material away, I think. Oh, it's my cut section. No, it doesn't. Do I need a normal knife? I don't have one. No. Maybe put some more pressure on? Did it cut? Yes, it did. So that's good. You don't see anything, I guess. Oh, so far so good. Yeah, you're not seeing anything. Now I need actually a knife or something like some tweezers. These are the shitty tweezers. Oh, this one is not perfect. So this didn't cut well. With some help I could remove it, but try the other side. So I might need some extra weight on the blade. Not too shabby. I know the dimensions are a bit screwed, but that's because of my for real, that wasn't that hard. Now, see if we can get the liner off. And then I don't have the foil to stick it on, but that's... Well, this is not even that hard. What the fuck? So for this test, I'm just going to grab some liner and put it on. See what it does, I think. Man. All this effort. For something this simple. Cool thing about this foil is there is already glue on it. So I can just use a random piece of foil and stick it on there. Let's grab something. I couldn't find well, I have a frame that fits, but it's not perfect. Ideally, you would have a bigger frame and stretch it nicely. But what I meant with, yeah, it's not evenly stretched, but if you look at this, oh, it's a frame with mylar, and it's larger, the mylar is larger than the frame. There's also kind of a pussycat invasion. I mean, there's hair everywhere. That's not the point. I can stick on this aluminum foil and then later on stretch it to on the jig or whatever to which resonance I would like. Or other way around is put the stretching jig onto the sticky tracks. That's another option. But yeah, for now it's okay. Let's see how it bonds. So it doesn't really matter where I stick it, just as long as I have enough room on all sides. So, like this. Shall I use the roller, or yeah, I might use the roller, why not? From the middle. And if you wanna, like, this stuff is like acrylic adhesive, I think. The stuff you get on tape for vents and such. And I think it helps if you rub it in, like, you know, some pressure to really make it stick. It won't come off ever, hopefully. Especially these tiny tracks and corners and such. Now there was spray glue on this cutting mat to hold this stuff in place. So now the question is, will it release the tracks without tearing it off? Because that would be quite annoying. So here we go. Start from here. So next time it might be useful to clean off this glue while this stuff is still sitting here with the backing on, so it doesn't, the mylar does not stick to the cutting mat. I didn't expect the glue still has such a stickiness, but it does. I mean, this is a small panel. If you have a big one, this might be kind of hard. Like, giving it some heat would help as well. Because now I'm stretching it, which is not something I want. Oh, well, it's getting from the frame. I don't actually need the frame anymore. Frame, go away. that might be easier to get it up. The frame is also with spray glue, so I should be able to get it up. Because it's one-sided, it's not permanent. So I could just do this more cleanly next time. You see, it's a little bit of burrs you can see. Left over a piece there, but here as well. But yeah, so it's a bit, has some burrs. So maybe the knife is not, it's not the perfect knife for this thick material or something. I don't know. It's not really that big of a deal, but so this way could be applied to any kind of carrier. Now I use Mylar 12 micron, but I could use 6, I could use 3, although that would be not very useful, I think. I could use thicker Mylar, I could use Captain without adhesive, I could use paper, I could use anything I want. And you can see the tricks are not that even. It has to do with my wonky setup for the cutter. Might as well explain the sort of ragged edges. But yeah, so in the end, the the most simple solution is the answer. So it took me 8 minutes and 3 seconds to cut this, which I'm pretty sure can go faster, maybe like 5 minutes, maybe less even. Then if you have like a really simple stretching jig where you can just put some mylar in just to get it a little bit stretched, or at least flat, and you can dump it on and you got your foil. So I think I managed to make it faster by a few 100%. And there might still be more detail than with the pencil. It's no, if you compare to printing, of course that one rocks. That one is way nicer, but that's for the delicate tiny things. This, especially, I wanted to use it for base part, the base part, and this could be a really good solution to do so. Also because this foil is quite thick, 35 micron I believe, so the tweeter in this case will be like 1 ohm or something, way too low. But for the base, of course the panel is gonna be way bigger. You might be able to use this kind of setup, or at least I will. And no etching, no huge etch path, whatever. So yeah, good result for now. I'm probably gonna put it on the test panel, see what it does. It will have like way too low resistance, I'm sure, but with some resistors we should be able to get some sound out of it. So see ya. In the meantime, I hired the foil, the complete foil to this test panel, and it's the same size as this one, although it is a mirror image. Sorry, this one. But yeah, I am very pleased. Very pleased. So the thickness of the tricks is not completely correct. I think it's my, well, the holder that holds the cutter. But I might take a look at the code as well, because it's kind of, well, you can see one track is quite clearly bigger than the other one, so there's something weird going on. I'm pretty sure it's not something I cannot fix at all. One other thing I failed to do right is this is indeed measured at the corner, but I didn't do it on this side, which is annoying, because what I wanted to do is, and I think that's, well, I'm not sure why that is actually, this piece should have been on the other side, so you have corner to corner, and that's the exact panel, so you can mount it and the tracks will be in the right place. In this instance, it was kind of a guesswork. This panel particularly has like the 8.5mm magnets cut down to 7mm. Reason is, if you look at this side, no, it's not visible because it's covered by the foil, but it leaves the biggest amount of open area. Yeah, and I can adjust that still. 7mm is a bit, can be a little bit wider, but for the high frequencies I used rubber magnets, 5 pieces or 4 pieces of 3mm. Same reason, because they will fall in between the, well, fall in between this. So you have the most open area as possible. Then I added 1 row of neodymiums in the middle, and the reason for that is actually I noticed that when you use weak magnets and a heavy foil, the frequency doesn't extend as far. When you use, apparently, if you look at the BNG, use heavy foil and strong magnets, it managed to reach high. So I did only 1 row of strong magnets, and another benefit could be, but that's proof is in the pudding, I never did it, could be that one small piece in the high frequencies, mostly, is quite dominant. And by this domination I hope to increase dispersion, because it's a smaller area that does this high frequencies. But we'll see, maybe it doesn't work at all. Might be the case. But yeah, I am very, very pleased. So this took less time, less fucking around with chemicals and such. So this is the way to go for, especially, not even a tweeter, that's just a test, but especially for the low frequencies. I think this is the way to go. If only I had a bigger CNC. I got some materials for it, but not enough to make it like... I got like linear rails for... what is it? For a machine that can handle like 1200mm by 1200. And in that case, that would mean that I could make like... oh! 2 membranes in one go. That would be awesome. But yeah, for now it's not gonna happen. I either have to make smaller panels or find a way to do the first part, then move the whole thing, and then do the second part, which is hard to line up because it's quite critical to line it up perfectly. But anyway, I can make panels like this that are 70 or something, 80, no, 78 centimeters long. So it's not enough for a base panel, but anyhow. So let's see what the resistance is. It's gonna be really low because I designed this actually for 25 micron foil, and even when 25 micron, but also I kept in mind, like, well, I want to make this like at least 4 times as big, and then I should have a normal impedance. So the impedance now should be like 5 times too low, and above, yeah, well, on top of that, the mylar or the aluminum is not 25 micron but 30 or something, or 35, I'm not sure, yeah, I have to check that. So it is even lower. So let's see, it's gonna be really low. The base portion is gonna be an amplifier killer. That short actually. Or not at all. Well, it's on amp meter, so it's not gonna work. Okay, let's see. 0.5 ohms. I don't think they like that very much. No. No amp I have is gonna like that, so I have to add a huge resistor, and then almost all the power will go into the resistor, but it gives me the opportunity to test what it does in frequency response, It doesn't say much about efficiency or whatever, because you know, like 4/5 or something is ending up in the resistor, so it's gonna be a hot resistor, I guess. And the tweeter is gonna be also 0.5. So, and that's kind of what I thought it would, because I designed it to be kind of the same resistance or impedance, if you want to use the right term. So yeah, both are 0.5. So if you make it like 4 times as big, it's only 2 ohms. It's still way too low. So I have to adjust for that. I either have to split up these tracks, which is almost impossible because I don't think the cutter plotter will manage to cut tracks half this size. For the base panel it's a little bit more easy. I mean, I can make this tracks a little bit smaller than they are right now. And as well, this is not a normal dimension for a full ranger. It's more like this, so it will gain some resistance. Especially the top end might be a problem. That's the reason also why it might be really nice to combine this with ESL, but it's gonna be a full-blown and quite expensive venture to do so, I think. But anyhow, this is what it measures, and I'm gonna attach some wires and some resistors and see what it does. And I think I have the same panel that has some foil on it right now, but I'll remove it, and we can even make it push-pull and see what it does with push-pull configuration. I imagine it will screw up the top end and the low end will benefit a little bit. We'll see.